you've talked about the online opportunities that are available now and post-COVID and what people can do to get into it. Now, you also mentioned how to get into the knowledge business if you actually want to do it. But I do know that there are some mistakes that top leaders, or let's say online entrepreneurs, online marketers make, or you made when you were starting out. So, but I wanted to share the second question as well, so you don't confuse the two of them. So the second question is, being that you are John Obidi now, the phenomenal John Obidi that everyone knows or the world has come to know. If you were starting the whole John Obidi brand, Hairstyle Africa, and everything you have built right now in this season, what will you be doing? What are the steps you'll be taking? So that's a different question. I don't want you to answer that while answering this other ones. I just had to throw that in.
Okay. Okay. So let me take this one first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my own mistake was I didn't get any formal training before I started. I just, I'm one of those children who, when they buy a new TV, you rather die than read a manual. You just carry the remote and start pressing until things just start working. I don't know. I'm in Nigerians, so like me, we don't like to read the manual. But while that will work as a kid and with electronics, it will probably not work so well for you in life. You're going to spend a lot of time in the wilderness unnecessarily. Yeah, so it's important that you read the manual. I mean, there's no one manual, but different people have written their manuals. What we are doing right now is a manual. Documented books, those are manuals, and we should read as much as possible. But I didn't have any manuals. I just got into it and started practicing trial and error. It wasn't a lot of time, but what I would do backwards is I would first of all start with a product. Look around you. What do people need that is within your capacity to fill? All right. And note that there are two kinds of demand. There's effective demand and ineffective demand. My dad taught me that economic principle. There's effective demand and ineffective demand. For example, like your hairdo, for example, maybe a woman might see your hair done, but like, wow, I like this hair. I want this hair. All right, that is demand. Okay, but there is one question you will ask them that will qualify that demand as whether it is effective demand or ineffective demand. Okay, the hair costs 450,000 naira. That's where you separate the girls from the women. Because we will now know whether that demand for the hair is effective or ineffective, because effective demand has to be backed with purchasing power.
Yes.
With proper buying intent. So everything else is ineffective demand. It's similar to on social media. Or when you post the free content, wow, thank you so much. I love this. Please, when it's your next post, please don't stop blessing me. Back. That is demand, ineffective demand. Effective demand is, hey, has the deadline passed? Please, I want to pay. Please, I tried this card, it did not work. Can I do a transfer? Do you take pay stack? That is effective demand. So that is the kind of demand that the product you are thinking about should be able to pull, or don't even bother. I mean, if you want to be an NGO, good. You want to heal the world, make it a better place, amen? You want to make it ministry work, fantastic. But if this is a business, you've got to abide by solid business principles and make sure that you're producing something that people want, okay? So doing it backwards. Then, create free content to attract them. And it's not about no like trust for any protracted period of time. Because when I first started, I was doing a lot of social media, you post here, you post 3 times a day. Tiring. I mean, it works, but that's for babies. What you need to do is create a proper marketing funnel, all right? And I wish that many of us Nigerian businesses learn now. As a matter of fact, during this COVID period, if you are an online business and you've never really practiced or mastered funnels, use this period to understand funnels, all right? Use this period. I beg you. Understand funnels so that post-COVID, you'll be one of the few dominating the industry financially. Amen? So learning how to use, so I would have just created a funnel, put out a Facebook ad, giving them an irresistible offer, a lead magnet, put them through a funnel that sells them through email marketing. Just putting them through. So I would do it backwards. Right now, people do it the other way around. They first of all start putting out content. Spending time creating. Content creation is hard. Necessary, but hard. And so if there's no rewarding end of that funnel, at some point you will stop. It's natural. Okay? So you do it backwards first. A product that is in demand, in effective demand, and then you create a funnel for that your content will lead into. So your content will lead into that funnel, and they are being put through your email sequence and presented your paid products to buy. That's how I would have done it. This is something I realized very late, you know, and then I think I started doing webinars in, was it 2017? I think in 2017 or so, I did my first webinar. And since then, webinars have been my biggest stream of income. My biggest, people buy my products like crazy from webinars. So I had to buy online courses myself on how to do webinars, because there are webinars and there are webinars. Some people think that webinar is just to show up and start teaching. No. Those of you who have bought, I have an online course on how to do a 6-figure webinar. And those of you who have bought that course, I have broken down how I do my webinars, why this segment is this segment, why it is this long, all right? Why are my webinars typically 45 minutes short? Why do I sell at this time? Why do I put background music at this time? Everything is intentional. It's in my product about on 6-figure webinars, right? So I learned how to do it, and I started doing it. Boom, it made a lot of money. So if these are things that you are learning now, fantastic. I didn't know all this when I first started. I didn't even know that webinars had a sequence or webinars had a template. I didn't know any of these things. I learned it all backwards. All right. My first webinar, I did 6 figures in 2 hours. You know, people are still talking about 6-figure months. We are doing 6-figure hours. You know, so these are things I wouldn't have gotten into if I didn't humble myself to learn. All right, I learned how to do webinars, how to promote webinars, how to deliver on webinars, how to do JV partnerships, and so on. Okay, so if I were to be watching John Obidi now, maybe like a time traveler, watching John Obidi now, I was like, okay. I mean, if you're on my email list, you got my email about the 80-20 principle. Those of you on my email list.
Yes.
So there's a lot of 80-20 that is happening right now in the industry. And everybody who has an online business, they are posting on Instagram. How many of you have sold on Instagram? At least in knowledge business. How many of you? Okay. I mean, Instagram has its place, but if you look at the 80-20, probably most of what you're posting on Instagram is in the 80%. All right. If you look at my Instagram, you know, I'm one person on Instagram and I'm somebody else on Facebook. I'm two different people on social media. If you meet me through my email list, you have one perception of me. If you meet me on Instagram, you will know me a certain way. If you meet me on Facebook, I think Facebook has my most robust persona. Yeah. All right, those on my Facebook group really know mostly who I am and what I represent. But there's that 80-20. Most of what we are doing, creating content, creating videos, it's a lot of work. But what is the 20% that really drives the 80% of results? All right, that is what I would have focused on, and that is what lead generation, funnels, and conversions. That is just it. I would have focused on that and really hit the ground running. I was struggling for a long time, doing all kinds of work, doing client work, babysitting people's Instagram social media handles, 2014 and early 2015. And that was a lot of work, good experience, but unnecessary toil. But I would say that if I would start all over again, this is where I would focus, and I would start selling out that very month. You don't have to do no like and trust for 6 months. Rubbish. That very month, because that is the beauty of these internet technologies. You can start selling out that very month if you can follow that particular sequence. So if I would start all over again, I'll repeat: learn how to create funnels, learn how to optimize funnels, learn how to create landing pages that sell your products, learn how to get leads into that funnel and just make money. Okay, the other things too, like learning how to create products that are in demand, not anyhow products, so products that are in demand, learning how to over deliver so that your existing buyers can buy from you over and over. That's what I will focus on, not be all this, you know, many Jackie Chan, you know, you are speaking in Ebonyi State, you're speaking in Kano, you're speaking in Bio, you know, how much are you really making? Let's say the truth. Public speaking is fantastic, but if you notice in the past 2-3 years, I've reduced my public appearances. I needed those things at the beginning when I was still trying to be known, but in the last 3 years, I don't really speak in public as much. The most I can do is webinars, or if my orgas invite me, I can't say no, I speak, but the 80-20 rule is in place right now. I focus on my marketing funnels, on my webinars, my products, my joint venture partnerships, because the things that I sell, I'm not the one who creates all of them. Some I create, but sometimes I find somebody who is good at creating products. I'm good at marketing. We do a JV, we promote, and we make money. All right. So that you can also call that affiliate marketing and all that. These are things I did not have an idea existed when I first started. So if I were to do the whole thing backwards, this is where I would start. These are things I will start learning, and these are things that I think will provide you as an online business with post-COVID dominance.
you.